Last time I was here, I talked about BLOXHUB as an inspiration for what we could do here in the US and how we can collaborate. And this year, I'm going to give you an update, very short one. I have 10 minutes on what has happened the last year. What are we actually able to do when we work together? And this is what I work for us doing every day of my work life. So a very short recap for those of you who weren't here last year. My name is Martine. I'm heading our international collaboration at BLOXHUB. BLOXHUB is it's a hub for Nordic Sustainable Urbanization. We are a community space. We are a building in the center of Copenhagen at the harborfront, where around 1,000 people come every day working on developing our city futures. And you can also say the cities of the future. And this is all different kinds of collaborations and corporates, and then they work together. They have this idea of if they work together to create the solutions that we need from different disciplines, we're actually going to create solutions that are very holistic and future-proof. A physical space, we are also a membership-based ecosystem of around 400 members from all over the world that we use our capacity as a team to activate into creating or fulfilling our mission, which is actually creating the desirable urban futures together. So we are doing this by encouraging city leaders and local stakeholders to look beyond, to look into the future we want in 10 years or so, and not to focus too much on specific challenges, but looking ahead. This is the way we can work together across disciplines and across borders. And then working together, this is exactly what we do and push forward, and we enlarge and empower our ecosystem to do that, working together here in the United States. So for the last year, since I was here last time, we have made a big analysis of what is actually the potential of working together. What are the interests from the US stakeholders in working together with us in the Nordics? And how does that interest match, the value proposition that we have? We have created public and private partnerships with stakeholders in more states, in the US and in Canada as well. And we have developed processes and mobilized our ecosystem towards this collaboration back in BLOXHUB. And our hope is now that we will get some impact and learnings out of what we are doing right now, these days, in this state, which I'll come back to. So what we experienced a couple of years ago was that we had delegations coming from the US, city leaders, key stakeholders saying, okay, how do we create our urban future? Our cities, how do we develop them? Let's get some inspiration from outside. And we did a lot of knowledge transfer and collaboration when these delegations came to Denmark. But we thought, why not choose the US as a kind of a strategic collaboration partner and work more with cities there to leverage this knowledge that apparently seemed to be very valuable for both US stakeholders and for us as well. So we looked at more cities and states in the US, and since I was here last time, we've been working in 4 different states. And for the next half year, we are going to work in 5 more. So it really is scaling this work we are doing, and I think this is a very good case and way of working together, which is why I wanted to present that for you today. So one of the themes that we have looked into is what happened after the COVID pandemic. A lot of cities are struggling getting back on their feet. People are staying out of the city centers. And this analysis that we did shows that these are numbers that show how many people are actually in the city centers before and after the COVID. And we have put together a group that look into creating solutions for revitalizing these downtowns. And this approach can also be used in other themes. This is just an example that we have focused on and are working with here in this state. So what we can do is that we look at both, of course, the built environment, but what we also bring with us is a cross-disciplinary approach where we say we, of course, have to look at all our buildings that are creating our lives on a daily basis. Here we are, spend most of our time. But what about the surrounding areas, and how does that interact with the buildings themselves? So we looked into our ecosystem, both within BLOXHUB, with our, now we have 400 members, but also our partners across the world. And we have actually just created an Urban Hub Europe, where we have activated other innovation hubs to work together with us in delivering solutions and inspiration for the cities we work with. And we have gone through this process and drawn this process where we actually get stakeholders around this table to discuss both the solutions that we see from our perspective, and also to find out what stakeholders locally do we want to include in this process. So what our value proposition really is that we're looking at many different, you can say, concerns or topics in the cities and in our lives in general. And we look at the representatives in our ecosystem that know something about that. And putting them together, we find solutions that are making a future-proof and holistic impact. So right now, at this point, I mentioned we've been in New York before on the map. We work with some coastal protection and circular economy, and also this downtown vitalization, and working with these city quarters that also needs to be vitalized. I've just come home from a collaboration with the city of Austin that have put together a climate and equity plan. And what was very interesting here is that they had kind of this overlap in focus where it was kind of hard for them to make their departments and different stakeholders to work together and finding the exact right solutions that supported both of these topics. And we made a deep dive with them where we created together, utilizing the Nordic experience and the experience from the US in creating a playbook. You know, how are we going to approach this in the future, and how can we do this in other areas as well? And we created this process where we said, okay, let's divide this into two phases, where we say, let's have a phase of innovation, ideation, where we share the knowledge and the experience we have from the Nordic region and here, and see what actually happens. How do we think out of the box when we do that? And then a phase two where we say, okay, we also want to utilize the experience from the Nordics in implementing quicker and faster, and how can we actually add that experience to working with US cities and speeding up implementations and trying some new models there out. So what I'm doing the next couple of days is I am working together, or I am together with a lot of BLOXHUB representatives, working together with cities here in the region. And we have one representative from Kirkland on stage today, but we are looking so much forward to do this collaboration much more with cities going forward. So thank you very much.